everyone, today we are going to study the chapter number 1 of class 9th chemistry, matter in our surroundings. What is matter? Anything which has mass and occupies space is called matter. Example, all living things like plant, animals, human being can be called matter because they have mass and occupy space. All non-living things like water, oxygen, hydrogen can also be called matter because they also have mass and occupy space. What cannot be called matter? Abstract things like love, hatred, friendship, etc. cannot be called matter. This is because they do not have mass and do not occupy space. Ancient and modern philosophy of matter. As per ancient philosophy of matter, matter is divided into 5 elements: air, earth, fire, sky and water. As per modern philosophy of matter, matter is classified on the basis of physical properties of matter or chemical properties of matter. Physical nature of matter. Important physical properties of matter. Matter is made up of particles. The particles are very small in size. These particles have space between them. These particles are constantly moving. Particles attract each other. There are 3 states of matter: solid, liquid and gases. Matter can change state from one form to another. Old and new school of thought. As per old school of thought, matter is made up of continuous particles, example like a block of wood. As per new school of thought, matter is made up of small particles like sand. Difference between physical and chemical properties. Physical properties. Properties that can be measured without changing the composition of substance. Chemical properties. Properties that define the ability of a substance to react and form new substances. Physical properties. These include color, malleability, ductility, conductivity, hardness, melting point, boiling point, density. Chemical properties. These include rusting, burning, rotting, oxidizing, reducing, decomposing, exploding. Example, physical properties. Iron is good conductor of electricity. The melting point of hydrogen is -259.16 degrees Celsius. The density of sodium is 0.97 gram centimeter cube at 20 degrees Celsius. Chemical properties. Example, iron undergoes rusting to form iron third oxide in the presence of oxygen and water. At 500 degrees Celsius, in the presence of spark, heat or sunlight, hydrogen explodes. Summary. Hence, we can see matter is made up of small particles. Some of these particles mix with each other or dissolve with each other. But particles in some objects cannot mix, like wood and salt wouldn't mix. Let us look at the characteristics of the particles of matter. Characteristics of particle of matter. Particles are very small. These particles have a space between them. These particles are constantly moving. Particles attract each other. Let us discuss these physical properties. Need these properties one by one. Particles of matter are very small. Every matter is made up of very small minute particles like atom. 1 gram of matter has billions of small particles called atoms. Example, 1 grain of salt has 1.2 into 10 to the power 18 atoms. Activity to show particle of matter are very small. Take 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate solution. Mix it in 100 ml of water. We notice water turn purple in color. Now we take out 10 ml of this 100 ml and we put into 90 ml of clear water in new beaker. We notice water turn purple in color. We again repeat the process and take out of 10 ml from this new solution and put it in the another 90 ml of clear water. We notice that water again turn purple. We keep on repeating the process and water continue to turn purple. This shows that particles of matter are very small. Particles of matter are constantly moving. Particles of matter are not stationary, they are continuous motion. In solid, the particles are packed tightly, hence they vibrate about their own position. In liquid, the particles have space to move around each other. In gases, the particles are spaced wide apart and are in constant random motion all through the space. This motion is thus fast in gases, slower liquid, and slowest in solid. Gas particles move, enabling us to smell the incense stick from a distance. Example 1. When we light an incense stick, agarbatti, we are able to smell it from another corner of the room. This is because gas particles from incense stick have reached our nose. Example number 2. If we drop some ink in a beaker of water, the whole beaker turns blue. This is because ink particles have managed to reach different parts of beaker. Example 3. If we drop a crystal of potassium permanganate in water, whole water turns purple. This is because particles of potassium permanganate are able to move in a beaker of water. Particles of matter have space between them. Different particles of matter have space between them. This is the reason that we can dissolve one form of matter over other form of matter. Particles of matter have space between them, and so we can dissolve one form of matter over another. Example 1. When we dissolve salt in water, salt particles get into space between water particles and we are not able to see them after they dissolve. Example 2. When we make tea, different particles like tea, sugar, milk fit into space between each other. Particles of matter attract each other. There is some forces of attraction between different particles which bind them together. This force of attraction is different for different particles. Example number 1. If we take a piece of chalk and iron nail, we stick both of them with a hammer. It is easier to break chalk but not iron nail. This is because the force of attraction is higher in particle of iron nail compared to chalk. Example 2. If we able to move our hand through the air very easily, but it is a little difficult in water, but is impossible to do so over solid substance like wood. This is because force of attraction of particle is highest in solid, less in liquid, and even lesser in gases. There are three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Solid. The particles in solid are packed tightly and are rigid. They have fixed space and volume. Liquid. The particles have some space between them without any proper arrangement. They have fixed volume by no fixed shape. Gases. The particles separated well and have absolutely no proper arrangement. They have no fixed shape or volume. States of matter: solid, liquid, gas. And examples: solid example, rubber, plastic; liquid example, water, milk, oil; gas example, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Classification of states of matter. You can see it yourself. Solid particles are closely bound. Liquids particles are close to each other but not as much as solid. Gases particles are much far apart compared to solid, and you can see the difference between solid, liquid, and gases. Let us look at properties of each one by one. What is diffusion? Spreading out and mixing of one substance with other is called diffusion. It happens in all forms of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. It is fastest in gases and slowest in solid. Comparison: diffusion in solid, liquid, and gases. Solid. Diffusion is slowest in solids. Liquid. Diffusion is fast compared to solid but slow compared to liquid. Gases. Diffusion is fastest in gases. Can matter change its state? Yes, matter can change its state from one form to another. Example: solids to liquids, ice to water; liquid to gas, water to water vapor; liquid to solid, water to ice. What causes this change in state of matter? Change in state of matter is caused by change in temperature and change in pressure. What is melting point of solids? The minimum temperature at which solid melt into liquid is called melting point of solids. It indicates the strength of the force of attraction of different particles. Example, melting point of ice is 273.15 Kelvin or 0 degrees Celsius. Melting point of aluminium is 932 Kelvin or 659 Celsius. How to convert Celsius into Kelvin? 0 degrees Celsius is equals to 273 Kelvin. 1 Celsius is equals to 273 plus 1 that is equal to 274 Kelvin. 100 Celsius equals to 273 Kelvin plus 100 which is equal to 373 Kelvin. 659 Celsius is equals to 273 Kelvin plus 659 which is equal to 932 Kelvin. What is latent heat? Heat energy applied to change the state of a substance, example from solid to liquid, is called latent heat. Explanation. Normally, when we apply heat on a substance, its temperature increases. However, when we apply it during change of state, example melting of solid to liquid, its temperature doesn't increase during a period when the whole of solid melts. It is because heat is utilized in overcoming the force of attraction of particles of substances, hence it doesn't cause any heat. Latent heat of fusion. It is the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of solid into a liquid state at melting point. Example, latent heat of fusion of ice is 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 kilojoule per kg at 0 degrees Celsius. It means that 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat is used to convert 1 kg of ice into water at 0 degrees Celsius. Latent heat of vaporization. It is the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of liquid into vapor at boiling point. Example, latent heat of vaporization of water is 22.5 into 10 to the power 5 joule per kg at 100 degrees Celsius. It means that 22.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat is used to convert 1 kg of ice into water at 0 degrees Celsius. This is the end of the chapter. Hope you like our video. Subscribe to our channel and like our video. Bye-bye.